Okay, so around a day or two ago, I did do this recording here, fixing every 2021 Dokkanfest NLR. Essentially, the point of the video is to go through each of the units released during that time frame and talk about one, or I guess, almost a few things I would do to their kit to make them modern. Wouldn't really be massively changing their kit, just one or two additions to make them more relevant, at least in terms of the current meta. As we all know, the jump between the end of 2021 and then to 2022 with the 7th anniversary was a pretty big power creep jump, larger than we usually have seen. So we're gonna actually go ahead and do something similar. It seems like you guys did enjoy this video here, so we're actually gonna do something for easy A's. So I did talk about that in the video. I got a few comments saying that they wanted to see that. So essentially, we're going to do easy A's, and we're going to go through every single summonable easy A and summonable LR easy A. And we're going to talk about a few things I would do to possibly, update them whilst trying to stay true to what the unit is intended to do. Like, for example, let's say Super Vegeta. He's still going to be a Super Battle unit. That was his design. Trying to keep a little true to that, but also maybe adding one or two things to make him just a little more relevant for Red Zone specifically, right? But more or less, we want to make sure that, we understand that they're made with their quirks for a reason, right? So this is the 7th anniversary, my bad. So we're going from 2021, right? The 6th anniversary for Dokkan Battle. Now, if we take a look down here, the very first easy A we did get wasn't even actually in, January, actually. It was in February. We got Int Ultra Instinct Goku here. So, obviously, as you can tell, there's a lot less units than there were last time, so I may be able to go a little more into depth with each unit and how exactly I would do this, but I think it's just, the thing with this guy is just very plain. Honestly, I think it's just one easy fix I would do to this guy. Make him have a high chance to dodge when he's just normal Ultra Instinct Goku, right? It was always kind of weird to me that he couldn't really dodge with his passive. He should have a 50% chance to dodge or so. I think that would make a lot of sense. I don't think that was necessarily hard to get that to him, because I understand at the time he was pretty good when he came out. He was probably the best easy 2R, I think, right? And at least I'm trying to remember that. And then obviously he's a stacking unit, so stacking defense plus this was cool. But even in the God event, it's basically you wanted to go ahead and get this guy transformed out as soon as possible. That's when he was actually good. I think they made his base form a little too weak. That's the issue with that. Again, I don't think that there would have been an issue giving him a high chance to dodge. Maybe give him key, 2 key at the start. He doesn't really need key, I guess, but they wanted to give him some extra fluff. There's not really things. UI Goku himself, as a character, it's all UI Gokus in the game, including Ultra Instinct Science specifically, they all are very basic, right? This guy was supposed to be just the balanced kind of UI Goku, right? So I think giving him a high chance dodge would be cool. Maybe they gave him some supportive ability, what if you give key to Realm of Gods category allies? That could be cool. This guy actually, I think he's fine. I like how this guy is looking here so far. What they could do is just make this defense 150%, I guess. If they wanted to really go out of the way to make him a little better, but he has the 70% chance to dodge, and he has the guaranteed dodge for the first turn after awakening. This in UI Goku, I think he is pretty good. He's well designed. Once he's transformed, I absolutely adore this unit. And the fights that you're going to use him, he is absurd if you are able to get his transformation off. Which again, it's 50%. I guess another thing they could have done is to increase the HP buff, but I don't know. Maybe that's going a little too far. I don't think it would have been an issue. What if they made it 59%? That's not that big of a deal, but it would matter, right? There will be situations where you could get the extra 9% HP. A small change, but it would be something that you could potentially see it more often, right? But 50% is fine regardless. So if we go down to the timeline again, we also got the 22nd of February with the Chain Battle Jiren, I guess. We got LR Goku and Frieza's Easy A. Now this unit, I think the big thing with this unit is, again, they just have no teams. They're one of these units that want a very specific team build all around them. And, once they were in that specific situation, they looked extremely powerful. Their issue is that they EZA'd really quickly, so they didn't really get many changes right to their kit. The change they did make, I did like, the key 7 start of turn was pretty good. Giving them the extra 77% defense there was nice as well. And of course, they get the extra stats when the enemy is in a debuff status. I would say if I was to make a change to this character, probably because their stats, were pretty good enough. And even now, their stats aren't necessarily bad, but they just have no... It's so weird with this unit specifically, because they were very good when they came out for a very long time. So it's like saying I want to fix them, quote unquote, is not really that big of a deal. I think that what I would do is probably add somewhere where they get a starter turn buff, even if it's just 50%, 40% start of turn. Give them some start of turn buff. Like, what if they got Q1 and then 11% attack and defense start of turn each turn up to 77%? I mean, that would be pretty absurd, right? But that would actually make them pretty interesting for like red zone content, where they build up over time and then they get the start of turn buffs on top of this. Would be really, really, really wild. It would be absolutely insane, like how much of a difference these guys' stats would have boosted up there. And it's just such a small change, but that's how multiplicative buffs work. These guys already hit pretty hard. They already had this effect too, which was pretty strong on them. And if you had starter turn defense there, that would be pretty wild for them. That's probably the change I'd make. I mean, I guess an extra thing you could do, maybe give them like an additional, like even if it's just a normal attack, so that if they get a hidden potential system with this buff active, because they of course lower the enemy attack and defense, that can be interesting, right? But that's pretty much it for that. So yeah, that is basically the 6th anniversary, right? January and February taken care of more or less. So again, I'm not going to cover EZAs like this. I'm just going to cover Dokkanfest and LRs, right? I think it's just going to take too long to cover every single EZA that comes out, right? That's unfortunate, but it do be like that. Next we have physical Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Besides, I think that obviously, to point out that the Dokkanfest and LRs are like the true premium units. So I'm not sure if it would really make as much sense to go ahead and I would say, make those units really age as well as these guys. So this Gotenks, first off, high chance to dodge would be really, really sweet. And then he's a unit that's like for, again, like god events kind of content. He's a unit that's going to be useful for super battle road content, because once these 7 turns run out, that's going to be gone forever. I mean, I guess what they could have done is make this 7 turns to 10 turns. They did a similar thing for what? I think Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta's EZA, right? Then he used to be 7 turns for his damage reduction, and then they did make it to 10 turns. Yeah, they did do that, right? I think they could have done that 10 turns, right? I mean, at that point, it's like his passive wouldn't really run out, and there's no point for the turn restriction. But still, it's the same thing with Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, right? At that point, they might as well have made it infinite. High chance to dodge again, I think could have been really, really good for this guy. Making him raise defense on super attack effects as well. Again, very, very basic stuff. And I'm a little disappointed with the super attack effects. This is cool, I guess. But it's like, he's a damage unit, so I think I'm fine with that. I think that at least this, maybe if you get an additional super attack, you could have raised defense for the turn. That could have been interesting. Maybe this could have sealed or something, right? That's all I would change for this guy, really. Just these very small changes, because dodge is a passive mechanic that could age very, very well. I guess they could have given him attack and defense 70%. No reason to make the defense just 30%, right? And then I think that Gotenks would have been pretty insane, and he would have obviously aged well now if we're talking about like updating him. Just very, very small things. Again, I'm not like gonna make him like, on par with nowadays EZAs. That's just not something that you should really expect. But at least make it so that he would have aged well for an upcoming year, which, the high chance to dodge would have been something where like even now you could throw him on like the youth category team or something, and especially with like the support from like physical Dokkan, physical Goku now, this guy could be interesting, right? And that's all I would say there. Broly, we got this guy, right? Again, similar to Goku and Frieza, this guy was very, very powerful when he came out, so it's weird to say, oh, what I would do to fix this unit. I don't know. I don't think there would be anything I would really say. I mean, he did his job well. He still does his job pretty well. I think he's still a pretty nice super battle road unit. AoE, double super attack, being super effective against all types. He gets the key 5 against these enemies, which is very common in super battle road. Double super attack. I guess one thing I would change is Berserker to Big Bad Bosses, and that's it. Really, that's just the thing with all Broly's. But I mean, just Big Bad Bosses alone would make this guy like twice as good, probably. Like, I'm not even joking. That link is so effective, especially with this type of pass right here. That on super attack and then on starter turn with the there's a 30% raise, so he gets a 60% raise basically on a super attack effect because he's always going to double super attack. You could triple and get 90%, right? Not bad. I mean, I guess they could have made his starter turn buffs a little higher, right, if they want him to age this far, but this guy aged extremely well already, so I wouldn't really make much changes to this guy. He was I'm sure everyone knows when he came out that LR strip Broly was very, very just dominant, like with the third best unit in the game basically, right? Crazy easy game. They're really good with them. So next we have Age-Out Tapion. I talked about Tapion and Minosha, the LR, on the last video that I did here. Tapion again is the same thing with them. They're supposed to be hip by hip. So what I would do for this guy probably, I mean, I think definitely defense race 1 turn on super. I think that wouldn't hurt. Again, very simple to go ahead and make that done. I mean, I like this Tapion for a while. I think he's actually still pretty nice even now. I guess I would just increase his attack and defense. 120% was fine, and he was tanky. He was definitely very tanky when he came out, but they could have maybe, like, what if we got like attack plus 80% and then defense plus 40% when HP is 50% or less, or he like healed you like 20% HP, or no, it's 20% maybe too much. Like, to heal to like 10% HP or 15% or something like that, I think it will be fine when he falls under this threshold, so that you activate this start of turn, and then when he comes back on rotation, he'll heal you, and I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I guess very basic, make him give key or make him an orb changer. I think a rainbow orb change. Yeah, if there's one thing I would actually really change him, make him a rainbow orb changer like the tech one, because his link set is so kind of bad, right? And that's really it. Make him like at least contribute a little more to the team if his links aren't really going to be that great, right? And that's all I would say there. And it would help out this LR a lot, because this LR, if you take a look here, 2 key, 4 key, only 4 key start of turn. I don't think that's enough for this unit, who again, they don't have any key links, right? They have no key links, dude. That's awful, because this guy has a key link, right? It's the transform link, yeah, 3 key right there, and revival 2 key, but that other unit just has no key links, man. It's disgusting. Next we have the LR, not the LR Super Saiyan 4s, that's next year, but the TUR Super Saiyan 4s that came out in May here. Oh, we'll talk about Vegeta first. He was listed first there. So Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, this guy, I think their issue is that he is supposed to be like the defensive one, but then the hard content time was like, what, GT Legendary Goku event? Didn't that come out right here? Yeah, the GT Goku event, that literally came out that time last year, right? So first off, he was tech against this guy, so it was like, okay, well, that's cool. And this guy was like solid for the God event, but his defense is like right there. He's like kind of like oh, I think the music ended right there real quick. Let me fix that real quick. But the thing about this guy is he was like right there defensively. He was on the edge. So then obviously by the next jump and power group we got, he just kind of fell off. It's kind of a similar thing to like what's his face, Super Saiyan 3 Bardock right now. His defense is like right on the edge there, barely good enough for some of this content. So when we get a power jump again, he's gonna fall off. I think that's an interesting way to kind of match him with the current unit that's going on right now, right? This guy, honestly, like, what if they just got rid of this and then raised attack and defense by 30%, 9 turns even? I get where they're going for with this. They made this guy like instantly stronger defensively than like say this guy. I mean, we're gonna talk about kind of both of them a little at the same time, but this guy was definitely the defensive type. And I think if you had like a 30% raise for 6 turns right there, that could have been very nasty for this guy. And then obviously defensively you will age a lot better. I think that I would say the same thing with this Vegeta and the Goku. They could have given him a high chance to counter. I don't think that they had to keep it as a 30% chance. I don't see why they couldn't have made it a high chance. And then if they weren't going to make this like 30% or something, maybe just give him 40% attack and defense on super. Again, the defense was like actually pretty nice, but it wasn't like, you know, again, for these bosses, this guy wasn't able to like handle their super attacks that well, right? He was able to handle normals pretty solidly, right? I just feel this guy's defense could have been better. Maybe I'm completely misremembering for certain events, right? But I don't know. I feel like people agreed that Goku was just the better option, right? Goku just hit harder. Once he built this up, again, this is very powerful. He had better defense too. It's like, I remember I was looking at this video. I was like, you know, kind of what they're thinking, right? Why they just make Goku just straight better, right? I would apply some of the same changes to Goku as, you know, Vegeta, but Goku, I like his super attack effect a lot better. I would say again, with Goku, 40% attack and defense on super, high chance to counter, and then he would still be very valuable now, even in red zone. I would say for sure, right? Because I think the 40% defense here is such a huge thing. This guy would have been nice for sure, really, really nice. And you know, even early on, like when we got like the first few stages of like GT Red Zone, like, you know, I'm trying to think of one like Baby Roto, you know, those bosses, Lord Lude, right? This guy, people ran this guy with the LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta because they shared a lot of links together, what, 6 out of 7 links essentially. And then on top of that, you know, this guy was pretty good at the 200% leader skill when he first released, right? He looked pretty nasty there. So imagine what he would have been with this, like, high chance to dodge and then 40% attacking defense right there. That would have been crazy. At bare minimum, given the high chance to dodge and then counter, I think that would be pretty sick. But because this guy hit like way harder than this guy, because you can even look at their attack stats, right? No, yeah, 18.3k. This guy's attack set was like what, yeah, 20k. And then you see their defense stats. Vegeta was once higher, but Goku had this the better super attack effect. This matters a lot more than like 2k defense on the super attack effect, obviously. So that's that. I think it's good to talk about both of them together, kind of, because obviously they're very similar design and they're kind of meant to complement each other a little bit. So next we did end up getting the Man of the Hour Ins LR Super Saiyan. Oh no, actually we got Cooler. Never mind, I forgot about Cooler. Oops, my bad. Physical Cooler, a very, very good easy game when he released as well. I mean, again, raised defense, 1 turn on super attack. I think the thing with this guy is that he built up a little too slow as well. Like, once he's fully built up, he's very powerful. But I think, you know, he built up a little too slow, like just a little too slow. So they either could have given him just like literally just another normal attack. It doesn't even have to be a super attack chance, right? Just another normal. Or make the build up like 10%. So that's 8 attacks instead of 10. Because you have to do 10 attacks. Doing 10 attacks is a lot of attacks, right? Especially for a unit that's, you know, even though you could do 3 a turn, right? Technically, you can't do 3 a turn. That's still all the way to like, what, turn 6, 7? So like, you know, let's say for the God event, Super Battle Road, which I feel like were harder than like the GT Legendary Goku event, right? That would have been very, very important for this guy. But again, since he was a building up unit and we're going to say he was intended to be used for the GT Legendary Goku event, I still think him being able to build up faster would be good, because, you know, even Great Ape Goku, where I could have potentially creamed this guy in the wrong situation, and him having that defense raise for the turn would have been very sick as well. I think on top of that, maybe like have him build up a little bit of crit chance could have been interesting. Like, what if we got like up to 30% chance to crit what they built up passive as well? Kind of similar to the unit I'm thinking of with this is the Physical Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. Very, very old unit callback, right? But this guy does build up crit chance, and that was actually like pretty cool at the time. You know, it was very slow, and it's like you're never gonna get this, because you're just never going to get this fully built up, basically. But I remember using this guy back in the day, and, you know, double supers are pretty cool. So I think that building a crit chance here could have been interesting. But that's all I would change. I mean, his stats were, again, his stats from the links alone are very good. Even like recently, like this year, I saw people like using this guy in some situations and like red zone stages even. Especially because S tier are cooler, not even just that, or the easy AT work came out. And if this guy had a little bit more, I think it would be pretty cool, you know, to still see this guy in use right now. You know, he obviously wouldn't be like that powerful. Like if he had 30% defense one turn, it wouldn't be like that big of a deal, but it would allow him to be a lot more usable. So again, next I talked about him a little, but Int LR Gohan, this guy disappointed everyone, unfortunately. The issue with him is that they did not increase this at all. So I think what they should have done, attack and defense here for both of these, and then that would have been pretty good. Even if they didn't change this, maybe some type of way to change key spheres. Like let's say if a Goku family category ally was on that rotation, or you know, a character named Goku on the team or something, right? You know, could be a way for him to change like STR key spheres to key spheres or something like that, or make some rainbow key spheres. They probably wouldn't have made him make rainbow key spheres, I guess. Maybe just STR to int, right? Because they were scared of this guy for sure, but they're a little too scared. At the very least, make this attack and defense, and then they could have kept this the same, right? And yeah, this guy was like, they gave him extra defense that I feel like was suitable enough, at the very least at the time, but they didn't give him enough offense. Now, even right now, I think they could have given him the greatly raised attack and defense for the turn, and or even like, you know, if they didn't want to change this, attack and defense on super, and then extra defense right here, like attack plus 18%, defense plus 10% per key sphere obtained, right? Just these little small things, right? Just a little small additions that would add up, of course. Again, I also want to say I'm throwing out all these like different ideas. I'm not saying that they necessarily have to add every single thing I say to the unit. Just like some suggestions that they could have added, you know, maybe one or two of these things, right? At least some ideas I think, you know, they could have done in order to make this unit better. Because especially like this is a unit that I'm saying, like, you know, should have been better when he came out. Especially this guy was a king when he first released, right, back in 2017. He was by far the best unit in the game, right? So I think they could have given him a little more love than they did, unfortunately. But yeah, that's what I would say for this Int Super Saiyan 2 Gohan here. Now next we'll go ahead and we'll talk about who's the next unit. I think it was the Tanabata Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Yep. So this was the Tech Super Saiyan 3 Goku. This guy was actually pretty good when he came out. Get rid of this, please. Just any unit, please. Just high chance to keys for change, please. This should have been guaranteed keys for changing. I think what would have been cool, like the GT Super Saiyans, what if this was on super attack, right? Attack and defense plus 30% on super attack for the turn. And I like this. I think this was fine. Like, obviously, you know, for certain events, like, you know, the GT Legendary Goku event, it would have been better if this lasted longer than the 7 turns. Similar to what I said about Gotenks, but, I mean, this guy hit, like, obviously way harder, I feel, than, well, he didn't hit way harder than Gotenks, but he hit harder than Gotenks, I feel, especially if you got a good amount of Rainbow Key Spheres. But that's the thing. Making it a 50% chance means that this guy was like, sometimes he was good, sometimes he was bad. Again, you kind of see similar to how these EZAs, especially this year, have been turning out to be. And obviously, you can even look last year. Not every EZA is going to be really that great. But just talking about what I would say to fix them, man. I think like something like those two things would be cool. Maybe if they didn't want to make this a high chance, they could have given this a high chance. A high chance of stun would have been really, really interesting. This already was like a rare chance of stun, so it technically was already buffed, right, to a 30% chance, right? Well, what a high chance of stun could have been really cool. And then, you know, could have played into, okay, this guy could be like, you know, nice for a super battle, where it technically like the longer you go into an event, the less you might see this. But then, like, if you're using him as super battle, you may feel better about him because maybe every time the 50% chance rolls onto you, and since you see him like once or twice, you know, you'll be like, hey, you know, this is pretty good, right? Obviously, sometimes you get screwed over, but you guys get the point, I think. Or hopefully, maybe it just sounds stupid, but yeah. Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I liked him when he came out. He was one of my favorite ones. Next up, we did have Esther Super Vegeta Celebration, which I don't recall who he's during a celebration. Oh yeah, part 2 right there. It wasn't with him, it was with Peppa Gals. AGL Majin Vegeta. This boy. Very funny. I hated this guy's design. I still hate this guy's design. They flopped with his design. I don't know what they were thinking. They're stupid when they're making this design. This didn't matter. No, well, yeah, but I would say all of this didn't matter, okay? Because we had a good Trunks kid at the time, I think. You know, this guy. And he linked okay with them, right? They shared what? Royal Lineage, Shattering the Limit, and then Golden on Super Saiyan, right? Yeah, Super Saiyan, Royal Lineage, and Shattering the Limit. So they shared some links, but come on. And well, he gave this stats, which is pretty good, but like that was only on the Boo Saga team at the time, and then Gifted Warriors came out that year, and that was it. Boo Saga, Gifted Warriors, and Vegeta's family, which, you know, at the time, Vegeta's family didn't even have a good leader. No, actually, no, we got the in Super Saiyan Vegeta, right? He came out, but yeah, maybe it wasn't that bad in hindsight, I guess. But this was a useless passive ability. Bulma, there's the only unit you could get to activate this at the time was this guy, and it's like, no, come on, you're not gonna run him, no way. And like he hit hard, and his stats were okay, but I think it was easy. 30% defense on super attack. Easy change right there. I think they could have said screw it and then made this Mega Colossal. That would have been interesting. Like the first Mega Colossal AoE unit. I'd say why not? Give him some like sort of value like that. Make him like unique, right? Where he has like, he's the hardest hitting single, you know, target AoE, right? That could have been pretty cool. Although Broly had that role, it would have been nice, right? To get something like that. This is also useless. This would have been cool if it was like when HP is 50% or less, or when he's facing like 3 enemies, right? And then you see in Super Battle Road, you can see 3 enemies often, and then he just starts out with a guaranteed crit, 18 key, and then he could stun them. That could be really awesome, but unfortunately, I don't know. A lot of these restrictions are just a bit too much, and it's like imagine if he had this 20% reduction and then like 30% defense raise on super just all the time. That would have been pretty nice, and he would have actually been okay even right now. I feel like okay is what I would give him at best. Obviously, we have the Majin Vegeta that just crushes this guy in terms of performance, but yeah, that's that. Poor Vegeta. What a funny guy, I'd say. So we go into the worldwide celebration. We have Tech transforming Frieza. I think he's I brought this guy up, right. I think he's fine. I think one thing that I would change though is make him not lose defense, right, when attacking, and that would have been such a game changer. If you had like 50% attacking defense when attacking, even if it was just super class enemies, that's fine. Well, no, actually no, because even a red zone round, he wouldn't be able to get this. And obviously this is a unit that could have been really interesting for the red zone stages early on. And even then, I feel like you could use him against Broly or something, right? Additionally, I would also just have him keep stacking. I feel like he didn't have to stop stacking. I saw no reason why he had to stop stacking. The healing is cool. Maybe give him, like, when he's Golden Frieza, some type of damage reduction. That could be really interesting as well. But other than that, he has a good basis. I just think that he came out, he was really good, especially with the LR full bar Frieza. Then 7th year anniversary hit, since he was on like kind of the edge, kind of still right there, he fell off flat a little. And then obviously since he got a lot of his buffs against super class enemies, that did not help at all. So now at this point, even if we do get super class enemies, I'm not sure how good this guy's gonna be necessarily. That's the truth with him. Now Transform Goku, also talk about him again. They're basically buddies. They're very similarly designed. The only difference is that Goku actually he has his buff against extreme class enemies, which is helpful, but his damage reduction I think is too low. 21% to 25%, it's bad, right? Again, make him permanently stack still. I don't see why you couldn't make this, what, 40%? Yeah, I think 40% damage reduction would be a good number for him. And then this could have started at 20%, and then what? He would build up 5%, would it be 5 or 4% per fight? Whatever was needed, right? He would build up across those 5 forms, and then he would be all good to go. Yeah, it'd be 4%, I think. I think that wouldn't have been that big of a deal. I would have liked that a lot. And especially because this guy had a weird link set. He gave himself ki, which is good, especially when attacking extreme class enemies. And I think I'm fine with that, right? Even though his ki was kind of weird. I guess another thing I would do is his link set was just very, very odd and all over the place. Make him keep prepared for battle throughout all his forms. And I'd be fine. Like, when he goes Super Saiyan 3, get rid of, like, experienced fighters instead of prepared for battle. I don't think he needs experienced fighters that badly. Right here, just don't give him shocking speed. He doesn't need it. Or, again, get rid of over in a flash and get shocking speed if you really wanted shocking speed. Same thing here, right? Because he keeps the same links between these two, but yep. It was very weird. He went prepared for battle to over in a flash and shocking speed, but like over in a flash is dead. I guess shocking speed is cool with the LR Super Saiyan 4s, but you know, you're not really gonna run him with Super Saiyan 4s. You're gonna run him like the LR gods, and he could have been a really cool partner with the LR gods, right? Once he turned blue, that could have been interesting for sure. Next we have Bardock. I think Bardock was fine when he came out. He was a pretty good easy overall. What would I do to change him? I think they could have. What if they made this greatly raised defense? That could have been interesting. I make this defense as well, and maybe instead of making this defense right here, and that's it. Yeah, I think that would be it. Cause like he's not bad right now, I'd say per se. His stats are a little low. He gets a massive defense buff against 2 more enemies, right? So maybe give him like Key 4, 70% defense against 2 more enemies. Key 6 and like still 40% defense against 1 enemy. And then have him get defense on super attack effects. And then I think that would like massively boost this guy up. But we got the Tech Dokkanfest Bardock recently, so this guy would have kind of just been meh right now anyways, because you would obviously just run the Dokkanfest instead, because they perform kind of similar-ish roles. Though I guess this guy, you could argue, is better for Super Battle Road still, so maybe you would have like given it some type of debuff when facing multiple enemies too. That could be interesting. So it's like he debuffs and seals, while it's like the Tech new Dokkanfest Bardock, he'd be like a long red zone type unit. Yeah, I think I would like that for sure. This was kind of useless. It was fluff. Yeah, it's fluff for sure. So yeah, that was the worldwide celebration. That was the LREZ we got there. Next we have Gohan Kefla. I brought up Tapion, even though actually he's not a Dokkanfest. I brought up Kefla as well. She's not a Dokkanfest, but I think she deserves to be mentioned there. You guys know what I mean. It just feels different with Kefla and Tapion, right? Since they're actual like category leaders. With Kefla, again, medium chance to dodge sucks. Well, it's not bad, but give her a high chance to dodge. I don't see why not. This being specifically physical does suck. I talked about it similarly with what's her name? What was the units? Tech Kefla, right? When I talked about Tech Kefla in the other video, it's a very similar thing. Yeah, I would say make this any key spheres and then add defense here, and that's it really. That's all I would change. Or they can make this 25% or something, right? But I think this being attacking defense 70% when attacking, plus her stacking and triple supering and a high chance to dodge, she would be good now for sure. And you know, obviously she got a pretty big, you know, interesting buff because she's on the Fused Fighters team. So she could have been like a physical orb changer floating around on the Fused Fighters team with LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta floating around. Or I guess he would be on rotation, right? But you get the point. I think that would be pretty good. I would like that a lot. But unfortunately, even on release, like Kefla was good, but her orbs kind of killed her. And then she's kind of dead right now, right? I think she aged pretty quickly, especially because she was near the end of the year. Right before the power creep. It was like starting like from here where a lot of these units kind of fell flat when they came out with the new update. Well, with the new 200% leader skills, especially like these Universe Survival Saga units that haven't had any update since October, and then we've gone through massive power creep. We have to get Universe Survival Saga sooner than later. Like there's no way. I would say in 1 year from now, we should have like a bunch of Universe Rival Saga EZAs. We'll have like at least 1 or 2 celebrations around the Universe Rival Saga, a new leader and everything, right? Yeah, that's what I'd say. Tech hits. Tech hit got it easy with God Goku and Hit. I think the thing with both of these units is that they both like are slot 2 units, but they want to. We obviously want to run them as a rotation, so one of them wants to be slot 1. It could have been cool if Hit got a high chance to dodge somewhere. Like, that would have been interesting. Like, he's type skipping, right? He's dodging and weaving. I think giving him like a dodge chance could have been very interesting. He got all of his buffs on super attack though. Like, okay. This is stupid, right? Okay, they would never give this to him, but I'm just going to throw it out there, at least for a future hit card. A hit card where in slot 1, before he attacks, he guaranteed dodges, and then after he attacks, he gets like a huge, like, 250% attacking defense on super attack. Obviously they wouldn't do this to an easy like this guy, but still. This, I think people also misunderstood this. This, I'm fine with it, because it's for him being a good Universe 6 leader, so that, it helps him not, even though he's not going to activate these links on the team. I think this was cool. I like this ability as well. I think it was a good Super Battle Road unit design, right? And I like him for Super Battle Road still. If they wanted to make him quick and easy, good for Red Zone, stack defense, and then he'd be good for Red Zone, right? I think that's all I would do. That's the only change I'd make to this hit, right? Just to make him a little more well-rounded across these other events, right, that came out. But yeah, I guess, like, give him some dodge chance and then stack defense, and then he'd be good. I said that to a lot of these units, I feel like, but it's so easy to make these units good, and depending on what their kids already like, right? I don't even care if it gets dodged. Stacking defense, so good, right? And it would work really well with his defense that he gets, basically on super attack. I would like that a lot, for sure. Or 50% raise, maybe. For the turn, obviously, not stacking, right? Next we had the Trunks celebration, which we got LR physical Trunks as EZA. He was also a little, like, underwhelming-ish when he came out. How would I change them? Well, yeah, because... Okay, I think I know what to. This could be a 150%, and then 50% attacking defense when attacking extreme class. This is fine, for both of these. And yeah, this also should have been something different than performs a critical hit. What would they do for that? I mean, maybe he Rainbow Orb changes or something, like unique extra. This wouldn't have come into effect until like very recently, obviously, this Worldwide Celebration. But again, if they made his stats higher, because even his stats back then, they're like, they're nice, right? But this guy wasn't like a crazy EZA. So if they made him a crazy EZA and he gets all these like kind of unique things against Wicked Bloodline, he could have been a solid option even now, like floating around on that team. Yeah, I would have liked that. This is fine, but I think they could have made this a great chance. That would have been cool. Like a great chance to crit. I don't see the issue there. And yeah, that's all I would change for this guy. I mean, he was cool, I guess, but he kind of should have been a little better. Did I bring up God Trunks? I don't think I did bring up God Trunks. I mean, I guess we could talk about God Trunks real quick. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, okay. I think he's fine. Actually, I wouldn't change anything about him really. I guess the only thing I'll change is maybe just increase this to like. Oh wait, this is an easy tier. There's not. I'm stupid. Okay, I did talk about him in the other video. I was like, I swear I had him pulled up, but that's in the other video. Ignore me. I'm really stupid sometimes, right? And I've been recording this video for 38 minutes. That's also longer than I thought it would be, considering I had less units to cover here. Let's make this last few a little quick here. I mean, we only have a few units left here. Actually, 2 units. Okay. Physical Future Gohan. I wouldn't change anything about him. Except... maybe... would there be anything I change about him? I guess one thing I would say, his damage reduction maybe make it build up a little faster. Like, what if it was 10%? Up to another 30%. That's pushing it maybe a little, or... yeah, 10% up to 28%, because 5-8, right, was a theme with him. Again, that would have been maybe pushing it a little, but that would be really sick. Or if you had like an additional that had like a high chance to become a super or something, then you got like 3 of these at once. Yeah, that would have been really cool. He didn't need it. I think even now, like, he's still like top 5 Dokkanfest TUR at minimum. So I wouldn't really change anything about this guy. I guess the one thing I never liked is that obviously he wanted... Oh, you know what I would change maybe? Make it Future Saga category ally whose name includes Trunks attacking on the team or something. Or, yeah, just on the team instead of attacking the same turn. That would have been a nice extra change. At the time, some of these Trunkses didn't really age that well, unfortunately. But the fact is that you had to run them on rotation together. This guy wanted to be with Goku family units like that, so it was kind of weird, but you're able to end up getting it to work out, I guess. And he got the extra buffs here too. I guess instead of a medium chance to crit, what if you got like a dodge chance? Maybe that'd be too good. What could they give him? Orb changing? Yeah, I think orb changing or something. What do other future Gohans do? I don't even know. Like, what do other future Gohans do? This dude is an orb changer. Or maybe he gets additional here. Medium chance of performing an additional super. Yeah, okay, what about that? Medium chance of performing an additional super instead of a crit. Because that would help his defense out. Sometimes, right? It wouldn't be like a consistent thing. But when you get it on those turns, ooh boy, he'd be, oh, even right now, he'd be so tanky. That'd be nasty. And basically from there, we have LR Goten and Trunks that came out in January before the 7th anniversary. This unit, this is not that big of a deal. Well, there's like a 5% chance to get this because they made, it was like, well, kind of by the math, right? Because you're gonna get this all the time because they have 5 to 10 key. So then you had to get an additional, which you wouldn't build these guys with additionals anyways. Then the additional had to roll here. Yeah, it was like because there's like 5% chance to additional, and that's basically like half and half, and then that's half of this. So it's like a 1 to 2% chance you would technically get this if you didn't hit the 12 key on purpose. But this Gotenks was interesting. I think that what they could have done is make this a high chance. And then on top of that, maybe some supporting ability. If there's like, let's say, if there's a Majin Buu Saga category ally on the team, they give all allies, 30% attack and defense or something, right? Maybe they give all allies except this character that stat boost, right? Something interesting could have been cool to help them again, because their links, the issue with them is that their link set sucks. They work with like SJ Ultimate Gohan, I guess, right? But he didn't easy until a while after, obviously. So yeah, I think high chance of dodge would be the biggest thing I would change with this unit. And that's it. I guess maybe they could have given defense here if they really wanted to be nice. But yeah, that's all the easy A's. Wow, I got finished with them. A lot of talking there. Lots of discussions. So let me know what you guys think. I like Inuai Goku. Dude, Inuai Goku could have been still good right now if you had like that 50% chance to dodge talked about. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and let me know what you think. I will catch you next time. Peace out.